write essays, diagnose diseases, and even drive cars. But what happens when it gets it wrong? Today we're going to be breaking down what is human in the loop, HITL, the secret sauce that keeps AI safe, accurate, and actually useful. Stick around because by the end of the video, you'll know how you can avoid a $35 million EU fine. HITL is a framework where humans intervene at critical stages of an AI system's lifecycle. It's not about babysitting AI, it's about supervising, validating, and improving it. There are a few key points at which humans in the loop can be involved, but we're going to focus predominantly on human review and feedback loops. Although humans could also and are often involved in the workflow and data labeling preparation before models are actually trained. But how does HITL actually work in practice? And why is the EU forcing companies to use it? Let's dive in. HITL operates in three key stages, like we mentioned. The first being the data annotation and preparation of training data. So for today, we're not going to focus on that because we'll be making a full video on this later, so make sure you like and subscribe. The other key features of human in the loop are the most important one for the EU regulation, real-time monitoring and human feedback. Human reviews AI outputs in production. In between the model producing something and that output being utilized, there is a human in the middle who reviews, ultimately approves, and takes accountability for whatever the AI is producing. This is extremely important, especially when it comes to EU regulation. Where can this be shown as an example? A customer service agent corrects an AI's misinformation before it actually reaches the end user asking the question. At the end of it all, you have the continuous improvement. Humans, after the fact, go through and give feedback loops that allow for the AI to iterate on its correct or wrong answer. If you ever use Google's Gemini, you've seen the arrow up or arrow down buttons. That is continuous improvement, human feedback loops that will help the AI understand which answers are better. Here's the kicker. If you're an international organization, ignoring HITL could cost you millions of dollars. Let's talk about the real-world consequences and how EU regulation impacts this. The new EU regulation strictly mandates that in high-stakes fields like healthcare, finance, and law, AI cannot operate without human oversight. Here's why. In healthcare, certain things like diagnosis of disease must have human validation and accountability. Same thing for in finance, whenever someone is doing a review of a loan approval decision. And what happens if you fail to implement HITL, especially in these industries? Well, the fines could be up to $35 million or 7% of global revenue, according to the new EU AI Act. Let's now take a quick look at how our open source tool Axiom AI brings in a human in the loop into your workflow automation. As you see here, we have some of our chat history of one of the projects that we've been working on, and some chat history on the documentation for it. Now let's see if we can get our AI model to create a plan for us based on this chat on how we can quickly deploy this model. So let's go ahead and do that. So with human in the loop, what we would like to see here is that once we submit this prompt to the model for it to help us do what we're asking it to do, rather than just going ahead and immediately doing it, we should see the model go ahead and pre-fill some templates that help us automate the task. But rather than just completing it all together, it's going to give us a pre-completed task that we can then approve, make corrections to if we need to, and then go ahead and complete it. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So as we see here, let's take a look from the top. This is the project plan that it's created for us. These are the different stages of the project that it has and the different tasks along with it. Go through it and see what it is, what the steps are. All right, and then as we see here, we have all the tasks that we would need pre-filled in. So if we want to make any changes as far as dates or anything, again, otherwise, now that the forms are already pre-filled, we could just submit all the forms. And that would be what human in the loop looks like. Knowing full well that if I come here and I make any changes to any of these here, let's say I don't want any of them, just go ahead and delete it and then submit the form. And that will be what human in the loop example looks like. As you see, as we hit create, the project gets created and we see here the tasks associated with that project immediately added to our calendar. If you want to learn more about the AI tools that we're using and how it can help you stay productive, please check out our GitHub and the link in our bio. Human in the loop isn't just best practice for regulatory environments. It is a legal requirement that is going to be established going forward, especially if you're an international organization. We've seen circumstances where certain parts of international organizations have to have bifurcated AI implementations due to not being compliant with all regulations. Making sure that human in the loop is embedded into your agentic workflow, such as what Axiom AI provides in our open source tool, is the best way to make sure that your AI rollout can be compliant across your whole organization. If you found this helpful, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more AI breakdowns and to stay ahead of the innovation curve. Thank you, everyone.